Migrant Leila Amador and her 7-year-old son are staying in Monterrey, Mexico while they wait for their case to move through the immigration system. She says she's relying on her faith as she waits.
I hope for the best, whatever God wants.
VOA asked Amador if she has legal representation.
Pues no sabía.
Well, I don't know, but I imagine they will assign me one.
Each year, the Justice for Our Neighbors Network helps transform the lives of over 5,000 vulnerable immigrants, refugees, and asylum seekers. We're reuniting families separated at the border and keeping families together here in their new country. We're making sure that children fleeing horrific violence have legal representation in court and that working parents have a chance to come home to their kids at night.
The United Methodist Church has been a long advocate for immigrant rights. We've worked diligently together for comprehensive immigration reform in the U.S. and for the rights of migrants globally.
Justice for Our Neighbors is a ministry of the United Methodist Church, and we were established by UMCOR, United Methodist Committee on Relief, in response to the work that UMCOR has done historically since the Second World War in terms of helping to resettle refugees. You know, the whole crisis that's being described at the border right now is really around those people who are coming from the Northern Triangle countries of Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador, who are fleeing chaos in those countries. They're fleeing lawlessness. The governments can't protect the people from the gangs. The gangs really are functioning as de facto governing bodies within certain communities.
Que sepan que es una realidad lo que está pasando en nuestro país. Hay mucha gente que dice que es politiquencia, que no es nada de eso, es una gran realidad. Hay mucha delincuencia en Honduras. En Honduras, si a uno le hacen algo, si habla a uno, lo mandan a matar. Están asesinando mucho a las mujeres hondureñas. La gente no se sale de su país porque quiere, no porque hay necesidad. Lo obliga, la situación de Honduras está obligando a la gente a salir del país exageradamente con el gobierno que tenemos. No es un buen gobierno, es una persona que, bueno, corrupto.
Las redadas es otra vida.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Que incluso aún si hablamos del cristianismo, de gente de fe, ha afectado la fe. Han surgido preguntas. ¿Dónde estaba Dios? ¿Por qué Dios permitió esto? Lo vamos a superar, pero olvidar no, porque el impacto queda ahí.
Todo lo que aconteció dejó pánico, dejó miedo a la familia. Pues. En nuestro caso, nosotros ahora preferimos estar encerrados que estar en la calle, que estar en las compañías. Creo que no hay palabras para describir a cómo nos trata la gente, a cómo nos trata el país, el presidente de acá, pues es una forma muy desagradable totalmente. Mi niña grande dice, yo ya no quiero estar acá, yo quiero ir para Guatemala, yo quiero ir allá con ustedes. Ella se da cuenta de cómo nos trata a nosotros como inmigrantes. Tienen miedo en la escuela y ella piensa, si yo voy a la escuela y regreso y no los encuentro a ustedes, ¿qué va a hacer de mí?
Honduras para mí es mi país, pero ahorita creo que están en lo peor de los países en todos los aspectos. Entonces sí, me gustaría que los americanos, como les digo, den unas oportunidades a las personas. Como les digo, yo quiero superarme en este país y sé que con la ayuda de Dios, Dios va a abrir la puerta.
These kids have traveled over 1,000 miles, fleeing abuse, neglect, and hopelessness. They only want the chances we give our own kids, to go to school and to grow up free from gang recruitment and violence. They come here filled with hope, innocently unaware of the legal maze they must navigate. It's our job to help them and make sure they don't have to go through this alone.
This is the first group of migrants to appear in a virtual court in border city of Laredo, Texas. Under new Homeland Security Department rules, some people seeking asylum must cross the border, appear in front of U.S. judges through video conference, then return to Mexico while they wait for their next appointment. Migrants say it is the start of a very long process. The Customs and Border Protection says 8,300 migrants have given appointments in the virtual courts, which began operating September 16. Homeland Security officials say the department's so-called migrant protection protocols are designed to ease a security and humanitarian crisis at the border.
We are a refuge for the persecuted and the oppressed.
We defend the powerless.
We celebrate the things that make us different.
And we remain united as one people.
It is crisis time, and my hope and prayer is that the United Methodist Church will respond with its compassionate heart, with its awareness of the fact that we are all children of God, that migration is a global reality. It's an opportunity as well for the church to be the church.
En realidad hay mucha delincuencia en Honduras. En Honduras, si a uno le hacen algo, si habla a uno, lo mandan a matar. Están asesinando mucho a la mujer hondureña. La gente no se sale de su país porque quiere, no porque hay necesidad. Lo obliga, la situación de Honduras está obligando a la gente a salir del país exageradamente con el gobierno que tenemos. No es un buen gobierno, es una persona que, bueno, corrupto. Hay mucha corrupción en Honduras. En Honduras no hay ni quien confiar. La policía no puede en quien confiar porque yo he puesto demandas, digamos, yo quise sacar visa para venir aquí, pero me estafaron, me robaron 8,000 empiras. Honduras está, para mí es mi país, pero ahorita creo que está en lo peor de los países en todos los aspectos. Entonces sí, me gustaría que los americanos, como les digo, den unas oportunidades a las personas. Como le digo, yo quiero superarme en este país y sé que con la ayuda de Dios, Dios va a abrir la puerta.
The way that I see it is that this isn't a political issue. This is not a one side or the other political issue. This is what the Bible tells us to do. This is what Jesus tells us to do.
I met a young woman, and she and her family had just come from Honduras. I finally asked her why they left. The standard response, because they think everybody should understand that people want to escape poverty. But that's not a good enough claim to get asylum. Poverty doesn't count as something that you can flee from. I probed a little further just to ask, she said it was poverty, father couldn't find work, and the gangs in the area. I said, oh, did the gangs threaten your family? She kind of sunk a little, and she just said, they hurt me. That's the reality that people are escaping. The people that are being pushed are the people that are seeking asylum.
Our Christian response to feed the hungry, to clothe the poor, that's what we're doing. This can be nothing but a Christian humanitarian response. If I were living in the situations that I have heard stories of, I would do the same thing with my family.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
These kids have traveled over 1,000 miles, fleeing abuse, neglect, and hopelessness. They only want the chances we give our own kids to go to school and to grow up free from gang recruitment and violence. They come here filled with hope, innocently unaware of the legal maze they must navigate. It's our job to help them and make sure they don't have to go through this alone.
These are people who have risked everything. Many have lost everything, except for faith and hope. We have the ability to help, and we have the moral duty to help.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
This is our mission. Please join us.
Ya cuando a mí me dicen que me regresan a Juárez, yo siento que fue algo, que como que fue un balde de agua fría que me tiraron. Y sentí que todo se me derrumbó otra vez. Y yo dije, Dios mío, ¿qué voy a hacer yo en Juárez? No conozco a nadie. Para mí México para mí mis hijos andando sola, no es un lugar, como le puedo decir, que yo confiable para salir con mis 3 hijos, sola. Entonces es algo que yo decía, yo cómo voy a enfrentar todo esto.
Our journey was long and full of danger. Like yours. We weren't welcome here. Like you. But we were desperate for a chance to live, to work, and for our children to be safe. Like you. We are mothers, fathers, sons, and daughters, children of God. Like you. And although the words you use hurt us, they do not define us. Because we are where you were not so long ago.
To go even deeper into the shadows of life.
Since January 2019, the U.S. government has been transporting many people who crossed the southern U.S. border seeking asylum back to Mexico, even though they are not Mexican. The policy is formally called the Migrant Protection Protocols. It's also known as Remain in Mexico. That's where they await a court date to make their asylum case before a U.S. immigration judge.
They still have the same rights. They're still able to apply for asylum, only this time they're going to do it a little bit further south.
There is not a consistent pattern of who is sent back to Mexico.
Del grupo, todos los que estaban ahí, nomás nosotros pasamos, porque todos los mandaron, estaban dando supuestamente refugio en México.
Many are returned to parts of the northern Mexican border that the U.S. State Department has warned are unsafe to travel because of security concerns. And now, Mexico is busing some returnees to the country's southern border with Guatemala.
I'm an immigrant from Lebanon.
I am a refugee and I came from Romania.
I'm actually an asylee and I'm from Colombia.
You know, you move here for education, you move here for improvement, you move here because your country has no opportunities and this is the only way you can advance.
The immigrant is a general term that defines anyone who comes into the country from a different place and wants to establish residency. And that doesn't necessarily imply that there's war or persecution in the background. Refugee is a person who is fleeing political or religious persecution, could also be fleeing war in their country of origin.
It's not an economic opportunity issue, it's a safety issue.
The refugee status is granted by the United Nations, and once you are admitted as a refugee, then you are allowed to apply for resettlement as a refugee into a country that allows resettlements.
You've been a victim in your own country and had no protection from your own government. And you come and cross, but you apply for asylum, for protection. Asylum means protection.
They might have entered the country under a visitor visa or a study visa, and while they're here, apply for asylum. While a refugee originates and sometimes is housed in a refugee camp in a country in between the country of origin and the destination.
At the end, all of us were immigrants, even generations and generations of Americans. We can look back and find in your own families, I don't know how many generations back, you need to look for the immigrant where they came from and for what reason.
Conflict or persecution force many people to leave their homes in search of safety. But fortunately, people affected by displacement have a right to seek asylum in another country. Asylum seekers are people who have requested protection from conflict or persecution, but their request has not been processed yet. People lodge an asylum application at a relevant authority of a host country, for example, a local asylum office. From this moment on, they are recognised as an asylum seeker. To prove that their request for protection is legitimate, asylum seekers go through a lengthy process. Trained officials will usually conduct a detailed interview with the asylum seeker. The interview helps them find out where the asylum seeker has come from and why they fled. Besides the interview, asylum seekers are usually asked to present identity documents and other materials supporting their application. That can be a passport, a birth certificate, or a marriage certificate. Next, the asylum authority will assess the credibility of the information provided by the asylum seeker. In particular, that means to find out the reasons why they fled and what risks they would face should they return. Processing an asylum application can take a long time. Whilst they wait, asylum seekers usually stay in the host country. In most cases, they have a right to the daily essentials: a place to sleep, meals, and healthcare. Despite this support, life as an asylum seeker can be full of challenges. Many asylum seekers stay in facilities with less privacy than in a private home. Whilst their asylum application is being verified, many of them live with unanswered questions and uncertainties on their status. During the procedure, they may not have permission to work and earn a living and to do other important things in life. Once the whole procedure is complete and every bit of information has been checked, the asylum authority will take a decision. If an asylum claim is rejected, asylum seekers are asked to return to their country and may get assistance to do so. Others try to appeal against the decision. If, however, the asylum claim is accepted, the asylum seeker will be granted protection. This means they gain refugee status or another protective status. Refugees should be granted a right to remain in their host country in safety and dignity. They should have rights to access education, work, healthcare, and other essential services.